Hi, Sean here again with Clean Cut Painting, your interior repaint specialist down here in Newnan, Georgia, Peachtree City and the surrounding area. And I also do work all over the surrounding area, the north side of Atlanta. So I want to welcome you again. What I want to talk about right now is it's just going to be a really short video, but it's something that's very important that you need to know whenever you're looking at having a paint job done. Typically on walls, what you're going to need is you're going to need two coats. There's a lot of paints out there. They could paint primer in one, going to cover in one coat, all these different things. Not only products, but painters will tell you, one coat will take care of it. But in most cases, that's not the fact. If you get up close to the wall on one coat, you're going to see little specks everywhere, maybe 3, 4, 5 feet back. It's going to look fine. So one thing that you're going to find in my quotes is that I'm always going to roll your walls twice. Now when I cut in or do the brush work on the edges, that's going to just depend on the color. It may take one, it may take two, and in some instances it may take 3 coats, but it's all included in the price. I'm not going to come back to you later. I've had a lot of homeowners call me after I've bid a job, never heard from them. I get a call 1, 2 months later. They say, Sean, listen, I had this other painter come in, he was cheaper. He came in, he did one coat, and it looked terrible. When I went to him and I said something, he was like, well, you only pay for one coat, it's going to be, you know, an extra 50%, 75, 100%, whatever it might be, to paint a second coat. That's never going to happen with me. When I give you a price, I'm going to make sure that that wall is covered completely. So what you're typically looking at, again, is 2 coats on your walls. Ceilings, 1 coat, unless you're going with a different color other than your standard white. That may take 2. It just really depends. You're going with a flat finish on the ceiling, so a lot of times that's going to cover 1 coat. Now, as far as your trim is concerned, typically you're just looking at 1 coat on your trim. If it's a color change, it may take 2. It may actually take 3 coats to cover on a color change on trim. Because you're dealing with a shinier surface, it's not necessarily going to cover as well. So those are some important things. One other thing I want to mention to you is the type of roller that's being used, because that's actually kind of important. When you're rolling a wall, you have really cheap, what they call naps, which I just call a roller, that goes on your frame that you roll the paint with, and typically a lot of the cheaper rollers, when you start to roll, a lot of lint's going to come out. You're going to see a lot of specks all over your walls, and you don't want that. You don't want a lot of trash in your wall. You want it to be a nice surface. So what I always use shed-resistant, lint-resistant rollers. Costs me a little bit more, but in the long run, it gives me a better quality product. You're going to refer me to your friends, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not about a one-stop shop. I always look at the long-term value of a client. I want you to continue to call me back for further paint jobs at your home, and I want you to refer me to your friends when they say, do you know a good quality painter? Another thing that I do that a lot of painters don't do, a lot of painters don't like to use them, but whenever I'm doing a big 2-story foyer, 2-story family room, I use an 18-inch roller. Instead of your typical 9-inch, I use an 18-inch. And the reason for that is when you're dealing with a big surface like that and you roll it, you're going to have the roller marks. Even though it's a lint resistant, even though you're blending it in, when you look straight on, it's going to look fine. But when you look from the side, it's going to you're going to see a little bit of roller marks. And if it's a flat finish, you're not going to see that as much. But if you use a shinier finish like an eggshell, which gives you a little bit of warmer feel, but it does have its disadvantages, and I'll talk about that in another video. But when you're looking at it from the side, which is really easy to do when you're looking at a 2-story surface, because it's a big room, you walk into your house, the side and the foyer, depending on how big it is, you're going to see those marks. So I use an 18-inch roller, and what that does is it reduces the number of those lines. Not only does it help me because I put more surface, cover more surface when I'm rolling, but it is really advantageous to you as a customer as well. So those are some things to keep in mind. just be really wary when you're talking to a painter. If you decide for some reason not to go with clean cut painting, and I really hope that you do, you need to look at that, because that roller, the 2 coats, is very, very important. And a lot of people don't look at that, and in the end they end up costing them more money. So again, I wish you the best. I hope you give us a shot, allow me to come out to your house, give you a quote, and hopefully do business with you. I appreciate it and hope you have a great day. Thanks.